Hi guys, Blake here today with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo, Branson, Missouri. It is March the 19th. It's about 1:45 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:52 right now. It is in the mid 60s. Bluebird skies, and I'm going to do the one cast for you today. Today I'm going to drift some night crawlers. Seems to be what I keep hearing is catching some fish. So my setup here today, I've got a barrel swivel, size 12. Got a 4-pound line coming off of this reel. I've got one tag end dropper about 6 inches long holding a 3/16 ounce weight, and then I've got another leader line here, 4-pound, going down to a size 8 hook, and we're gonna rig a night crawler up on it. I think I need to recalibrate my trolling motor. It's not quite holding spot lock straight, so we're gonna take a big long juicy night crawler, and I'm only gonna use just kind of the very end of this worm here. I'll break off just about that much. Man, I even brought a towel today to wipe my hands off with. There's Captain Brett Rader. We're going to take this size 8 hook. We're going to find the end of the worm that we ripped open already. And we are going to feed that right down the worm. And we're just going to twist him around the bend of the hook. We're going to straighten it out so that we have the worm. Oh no. I'm unwrapped. There we go. So we have the end of the worm coming straight off the shank of the hook there. Just a small piece. And I'm gonna step up here and get the boat kind of more out in the middle. I think those fish are gonna be probably out in the deeper water today, just because of the sun being so bright. So as far as I understand, they are running 3 units all day. The app, the Southwestern Power Administration app, has been down on showing the current generation for the last 24 hours, but the schedule still projects that they are running 3 units for the whole day, and it seems like about 3 units. So we're just about in the middle of the lake. Send one out there, feed it a little extra line. And like I said, I went with the 3/16 ounce. I think that's going to be just about the right weight here. Might even have to slow the boat down just a touch to get it to bounce the bottom the right way. Alright, we are bouncing. So Captain Dwayne Doty was out this morning. Said they tried drifting the pink power worm to start, from what I hear, and couldn't get them to bite the pink power worm, but they did catch some on the nightcrawlers. Big wake. One of our rental boats said that they had caught one of the ones I passed on my way up here. They were dragging nightcrawlers down kind of by Trout Hollow Lodge, and said they had caught a couple of medium-sized trout. At least that's the hand gesture he gave me. I haven't really heard from anybody fishing the trophy area today. So I'd be interested to know if dragging the scuds up there was still working. And so with the now that we've been drifting for a second, with the weight I got on here, I am having to slow the boat down just for a second or two every once in a while to keep my bounce going right. But it's a good bounce. I think a 1/4 ounce would probably be just a little bit too much. There was a pretty hefty line of boats that were all drifting the same line down below Trout Hollow Lodge. They may have been on to something. We sold a lot of minnows today at the dock. So I don't know if maybe there's a group of people that got on a pattern of drifting or anchoring off with minnows that's working. I didn't get to talk to any of those guys that bought them, but yes, sir. Yep, drifting some night crawlers today.
Yep, that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, that's about the only thing I've heard that's working.
Yeah. So I was catching them on. I was drifting a jerkbait early this morning.
Yeah.
And I caught 3 or 4 just past the short creek. And I caught one about 3 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. Along right across from Trout Hollow.
The guy next to me was saying that they drifted some jerk baits this morning and caught 3 or 4 fish from Short Creek to Trout Hollow, and one of them was a 3-pounder. And I even thought about putting on the jerk baits today to go drifting, and decided to go with the night crawlers instead. And I'm thinking it's about time to reel my night crawler in and make sure I've still got one on there, and make sure it ain't covered in moss, and kind of reposition my boat. We getting ready to come up on the Lakeshore Drive Estate area, and right here in this bend is where the lake will kind of pull you in towards the bluff, which is what's happening to me right now. This piece of night crawler I'm thinking is just a little too short. I need a bigger piece here. And I'm gonna get just a little bit on the inside of the middle here and hope that it kind of keeps me holding in line and not getting sucked in too close to that bluff. Okay. So we're gonna go for a little bit longer of a piece this time. See if that changes the game. I know, just like with all our other baits, sometimes a bigger sandwand worm works, sometimes a bigger scud works, sometimes it's smaller. So sometimes you just gotta do something as simple as change the size of your worm. Alright, so this time I fed the rest of the worm up onto the line. So I've got a significantly longer piece there. Wipe my hands off again. It is handy when you bring a rag to do this with. It's a lot less messy. Oh. Okay. I got the boat just about where I want it here. Add a little extra line, and we're drifting again. So yeah, when the 3 or 4 units is running, I always think that dragging a smaller jerkbait on the bottom is always a good option too. Obviously we're kind of out here at the highest point of the sun today, and that can always be a little bit of a slower time to fish. But I do think that if I had went up to the Lookout Point Island and drug a jerkbait on the bottom, I'd have stood a chance to catch a fish as well. Or even went up there and drifted scuds on the bottom. Those have been hot the last week or two. Hotter than normal, I should say. Scuds are always another good option here. Having a little trouble finding the bottom yet here, so I'm just gonna open my bail and let out a couple extra feet of line there. Slow the boat down another couple feet. See if that gets me on line. Go, starting to touch the bottom now. Pretty good. So hooking the worm the way that I'm showing you today, where you thread it through the hook, I think it helps the hookup percentage. The other way you can do it is just take the very end of the worm about a 1/4 inch down and hook it once and let it dangle off the hook, but sometimes it's a little bit harder to, when they do bite, to get the hook set on them. There was a bite, finally. See if he comes back for it. Oh, I missed him. Okay, so the little bit longer piece of worm will look like it didn't take too long to get some attention there. Something I've never really tried, but I've heard works, is you take like a white power egg and run it all the way up the hook onto the line, then run your piece of nightcrawler on the hook, and then slide that white egg back down. Sometimes that kind of gets their attention a little bit. The white egg kind of used as an attractor. Oh. Oh. Well, I had another bite. When they're taking that nightcrawler, you kind of gotta wait for that. They'll start nibbling on it, but you gotta really wait for them to take it, and sometimes that can be a bit of a guessing game on whether they have it good enough or not. Yesterday, Phil said that the water temperature that he read was at 43 degrees. That's pretty cold. So a trout's body temperature is directly related to the temperature of the water. They don't hold their own body temperature. It's all dependent on the water temperature. So as that water temperature gets colder, so does their it directly affects their eating habits. Whenever they're too cold, they kind of go into a lethargic mode where they only eat when they really have to stay alive, kind of like reptiles do in the winter. And so when that water temperature gets too cold, they only eat sporadically. And so sometimes that can have an effect on how good the bite is. We are quickly approaching Short Creek, and I think I'm going to reel this in, check my line, make sure there's no moss, do one more cast, drift a little bit past Short Creek here, and probably call it a day after that. Oh, my worm was getting plenty of attention down there, I can tell you that. I lost over half of it, got eaten there. I'll do one more piece. kind of over the flat right now. Water's a little shallower, getting a little heavier of a drift here. Bumping the bottom a little harder, is what I mean. Oh, I probably would have came out tonight to do the one cast, but we've got probably 20 boats on the water today, and I gotta check those all in tonight, so I will not be done with that until it is close to dark. So I had to come out kind of here at the highest sun time of the day. Alright, well, no fish for me today, but we thank you guys for watching. Like and share us on Facebook, and we'll get out here and do it for you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.